Всем привет! Меня зовут Кристина, и сегодня я с вами поделюсь, как я дошла до беглости в английском языке. Это видео я сделаю на английском языке, а вы можете таким образом тренировать свое аудирование. Я очень постараюсь прикрепить субтитры, перевод на русском языке, если у меня все получится. Видео будет состоять из двух частей. Первая часть я рассказываю о том, как я учила английский и что привело к моей беглости. И вторая часть будет состоять из советов. Так что, если вам интересны только советы, мотайте на вот это время. Okay, let's get started. I think as everyone else, I started learning English at the age of 7. Back in the day, it was just something that everyone used to do. I remember not being very excited to learn English because I had some German books lying around in my house and I had always wanted to learn German. But instead we started to have English. And I didn't care really about English only until I got to year 9 or something. I think until year 7 we had a fantastic teacher of English and then she took her maternity leave, sadly. After that we started having lessons with another teacher who wasn't very enthusiastic and motivated, and she just gave us translation exercises for homework and translation exercises for classwork. So English wasn't that much fun, to be honest. At the end of year 9, I started preparing for the state exam. I realized that I couldn't do it on my own, so I asked my mum to find me a tutor. And so she did, and it was a very strict professor at university who actually created a really good base for my English. I learned grammar rules with her. I retold different stories, topics, and whatnot. And I think it really built my confidence in English, even though back then we did not have much improvised speaking. And when I got to university, I was frightened of speaking, to say the least. But this tutor, she really did enrich my vocabulary. She gave me a nice foundation of grammar, and I cannot thank her enough, to be honest. She was just the best thing that happened to my English. Then, as you might understand, since I'm a teacher of English, I got to university, to the Faculty of Foreign Languages, and I studied there for 5 years. We had around 6 hours of English every week and tons of homework. Yeah, I cannot stress enough how much homework we had. I don't know, I think one homework would be just an A4 list for the next day or for the day after that. Actually, we had it all. We had phonetics, grammar, lexicology, linguistics, and many other things. And somewhere around my second year of university, I guess, I started teaching English. And teaching is another great way to master a language, because you have to explain the things that you understand a couple of times. And the more you explain it, the better you understand it as well. Maybe it sounds a little bit weird, but I hope you got what I mean. In my 5th year at university, I decided that I need to take IELTS because I was determined to go to Germany and receive my master's degree there. Thus, I started preparing for IELTS with a native speaker. He was one of the teachers at our university, so I took private lessons with him and he was teaching me IELTS strategies and things like that. But unfortunately, I ended up not taking IELTS because I did not have enough money to go to Germany and to just study and live abroad at that time. So I started working instead, and this way I dropped my preparation. In 2017, I thought that my degree in languages wasn't enough and I wanted something more. So I knew that there was a CAE exam, Certificate of Advanced English, and I made up my mind to take it in 2 years. And the best decision that I made was to prepare on my own, because back then I had already known all the strategies for Cambridge exams, and I had been preparing my students for Cambridge exams as well. So this wasn't a decision that I made on a whim. I'm quite a motivated person, and I know that I can make myself study. So in 2019 I passed CAE and I got grade A, which meant that I have C2 level of English. And maybe I can bring my certificate. Just a minute. Oh, actually, I forgot that I framed it. There it is. And you know, since then, I haven't stopped learning English. I think I learn something new every single day. I've been watching films, listening to podcasts, reading books in English, things like this. Everything that brings me pleasure, I do this in English. This year, though, I want to focus on mastering pronunciation. I mean, because you can never be satisfied with your pronunciation. And I think the shadowing technique will be of great help to me. Yeah, so here is my little story. And right now I want to share some tips which will help you to improve your English. And tip number 1 is about reading. I would recommend reading a lot of texts or books of your level. Look in the direction of adapted books as well. There are some books like Penguin Readers, Macmillan Readers. They're called graded readers, which means that they have adapted the book for the vocabulary and grammar which is suitable for the exact level. But I don't want you to limit yourself to only that, but also read articles, news, blog posts that are based around your interests. Because where there is interest, there is motivation. Back in the day, I remember reading Robinson Crusoe, Dorian Gray, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and I really enjoyed them. And I wish you could do the same. The second tip is watching series, films, and videos. I can't stress enough how important they are. Not only do you notice the vocabulary, but you also hear how the words are pronounced in connected speech and how they're used in their context. But choose something engaging and meaningful to you, so something that will bring you pleasure. And if needed, watch with English subtitles on. They're very helpful as well. If you are in two minds and you don't know where to start or what to look for, on YouTube, for example, you can just type in, for example, books. And there will be different channels and you can just peruse them and find the one that you like best. It can be as well vlogs if you want something more everyday-ish. And then you choose the ones that you like. You can also specify like vlogs from Los Angeles and you will see that. Yeah, so YouTube is a great source for your English and it's accessible and really easy to use. Tip number 3, while watching videos, you can repeat after the native speakers and kind of copy their intonation, copy how they pronounce the sounds. It's like repeat the sentences like a parrot would. It did help me in my English learning journey and I think it would help you as well. Because by practicing pronunciation, you also practice listening. You hear how the words collide and you hear how they connect in speech and thus your listening becomes better as well. Right now, I will demonstrate how I do the shadowing technique. So the first step is to find the video that you really like and the person's accent that you really like. And listen to a sentence, for example.
I've been really struggling to find a good night routine recently.
I've been really struggling to find a good night routine recently. And you repeat after the person.
It's 10:30 p.m. I'm exhausted.
It's 10:30 p.m. I'm exhausted. And then you keep going, you repeat until you're satisfied with how you sound. Ideally, you should have a script in front of you. But even if you do this every day, it will significantly improve your pronunciation, no matter if you have the script or you don't. Just listen, repeat, and there you have it. Grammar also plays a significant role in learning a language, but grammar is not everything. Don't forget about this. Don't only focus on grammar and do exercises from one grammar book and another and another and another. Get at least one grammar book and learn how to structure your thoughts and ideas accurately. Study one page and try to implement it straight away. Try to say a sentence, make it up in your mind or say it aloud. Another tip will be about speaking. And speaking is something that is usually regarded as a skill that you can do, that you cannot do on your own. But this is not true. Do not skip speaking exercises in a student's book that you are studying on your own. Practice it with yourself. Be the devil's advocate, sort of. Think of advantages and disadvantages of some things. Record yourself. You can film a video of you speaking and upload it as a private video to YouTube to see your progress after a couple of months. Or if you are a bit shy and filming videos is just not your cup of tea, then you can record an audio and listen to it after a couple of months of practicing speaking. If you have a question in mind, for example, I don't know what to talk about, you can just start talking about not knowing what you want to talk about. And then you will actually see that you have loads of things to talk about. You can discuss hot topics, discuss the news, think about advantages and disadvantages of a particular thing. You can find multiple conversation questions online. There is such a great source as Wordwall, and I use it for practicing my German as well. So you can find spin the wheel exercises, and you can answer the questions which are in this wheel. And it's kind of fun, it spins and chooses the question for you. It's like a little bit engaging as well. So I will demonstrate how it works on this website. You type in speaking and you will see all kinds of speaking activities that there are, cards, spinning wheels and many other ones. And if you're looking for example, a specific level, so you can type it in and you will get the activities for the specific level. And if you opt for this one, you click here, you take it for a spin, and it gives you a question. Besides, you can find a study buddy on Telegram, Instagram, and many other social networking platforms, and read a book together, study English together, discuss things. You can send audio messages to each other, you can chat, and this will be both your speaking practice and your writing practice. I would recommend installing HelloTalk, because when I was learning Swedish intensively, I used to use that app and I found a lot of people to talk to. So if you are feeling a bit lonely, there are millions of people who are feeling the same and would love to get a study buddy. And this way you will improve your English and build your confidence. And the last tip that I'm going to give is how to improve your writing. Everyone is talking about journals, and I cannot stress enough how important journals are. And I have one, I can demonstrate it, but I will not show it up close because I have some secret private information there, which is a little bit hush-hush. So I keep my journal here in this notebook, this beautiful one. I write some goals in the beginning, so there are some goals for 2022. Then I have some entries where I write about my day and things like that. And then I have some goals for 2023 and some things here as well. So you can do the same, or you can write to-do lists for each day, what you have to do. So at first it might be a bit tough. You would have to sit down and think about it, but the more you do it, the better you become at it. So practice today, so in a couple of months, you will have already achieved something that you couldn't do before. So that is all. So if you have any questions, write them up in the comment section below, and I will be replying to them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!